were immediately surrounded by the military. We knew it would happen, but this time it was more, because by the time we had the election, the internet was switched off 2 days before. Radios and TVs were switched off, those that were not pro-regime. Journalists were ordered not to cover the election. As usual, international observers, those that were not compromised, were locked out, and we went into the election. So here we are, my wife and I, locked up in our house and surrounded by the military. The following day, we were raided by the military on the orders of the Chief of Defense Forces. And that night, because I had learned a lesson in 2021, I had anticipated that raid. And our friendly people within the forces had warned us that there was an order from the Chief of Defense Forces, who is the son of the president, that I should be disabled fundamentally. Whatever that meant, for me, it rang a bell. So I played a ninja role and disappeared. And disappeared from my house. We call it rubber dub style. On the 16th, they didn't get me, but that day they did not break into my house. I remained at large. I wanted to be able to charge up my people, to be able to communicate, because I knew they would lock me in my house, cut off the internet, and isolate me from the rest of the world. That went on for another week. Now, on the 23rd of January 2026, after looking for me for a week and a few days, and they couldn't find me, the son of the president got so angry that he raided my house. This time they broke into my house, found my wife, beat her so bad. They beat my family members. They stripped my wife naked. Meanwhile, they were filming and taking pictures, the same pictures that later on Museveni's son, who is the Chief of Defense Forces, tweeted in his, usual tweets, erratic tweets, for lack of a better word, saying this is Bobi's wife when we captured her. Now, those who don't know Muhoozi Kainerugaba, let me give him free marketing. Please follow him on Twitter. He's Muhoozi Kainerugaba. It will help for you to see what he does. Many of you know about the story of Idi Amin. We have a new one who is more crude. He does not pretend, unlike his father, he does not pretend to be a good dictator. He said on Twitter that he would abduct my bodyguard, torture him, and he did that. Stripped him, shaved him, his beard and hair, and put him on Twitter. He does that. He has bragged for killing 23 of my friends, and he was looking for me to be the 24th dead body. He once again also ordered me to show up in 24 hours or they will find me and kill me. And when I didn't show up, he gave an order publicly that I should be delivered dead or alive. He also ordered publicly that I should be castrated. So the military and the police mounted roadblocks everywhere in the country.
He wanted your balls.
Looking for me. Yeah, looking for me. When they didn't find me, they kept raiding my friends, members of parliament and all that. He raided the home of my personal assistant when he didn't find me, because he was looking for me. When he didn't find me, they abducted the wife and kept her in a military barracks for 37 days. And in those days, we don't know to the extent what exactly took on, but she told us, among other things, that they removed her contraceptive, her IUD from her. This is a military barracks, and many other things. So knowing that, I knew that the first time they get their hands on me, I was a dead man. Once again, I played James Bond, and in a rubber dub style, exited the country, and here I am. Yeah.
Many people are very grateful that you're here today, but it's also, I know, a heavy weight to be in exile. So I wanted to ask, let me see how we're doing on time. I have a few questions. few questions, and then I'll
I'm
hand it
happy
over. I mean, just building on these terrible stories of violence and harm, what does keep you going? What makes it worth it for you, especially if you feel like you can't be safely in the country at this moment?
Hope. Hope that one day everything's going to be all right. And the belief that oppressed people can stay oppressed forever. I mean, we look back in history where we are, so many countries have been there. Kenya was there in the days of Moi. You know, many other countries have been there, but with the persistence of their citizens, they win. And also the enormous support that we enjoy. You see, while many people focus on my own challenges, but I must say that I'm way better than those that we struggle together with. For example, I mean, I have international attention on me, and I'm more like having a spotlight on me. My challenges tend to be shared many times. When I made my way to America, I mean, I have the luxury of having a passport and a visa and affording an air ticket, or having friends that can get me an air ticket to get out of danger. But even when I come to the diaspora, for example, I ran out of my country, my wife left first, we are here in a foreign land, you know, with our 4 children, but we are being embraced. One thing I did not mention, that when the military raided and beat up my house and she ended up in hospital, she escaped from her hospital bed to be able to leave the country. Meanwhile, the military took over my house. Not the home, not surrounding the home, but broke into the house and started living in my house and in my compound. They chased away my house help. They could not allow any of my family members to access my home. For a month and a half, they were living in my house. Sometimes those that, there was one gardener that stayed there, and every now and then would see soldiers moving out of my house in my clothes. So it would be funny if it wasn't sad, but we were able to go past that. So the hope and the support that we get from the people that are even more oppressed than myself, I mean, the common people, that alone keeps us going. You know, when I was in hiding, I would just show up in people's houses and they would, everybody fits in. I mean, it's like we have known each other for a long time. There's this Muslim woman whose house I ran into while they were chasing us. She screamed, "Oh my God!" and then said, "Hey, it's Bobi Wine." Suddenly she went quiet. I said,
I know.
so for me, that is one thing that keeps me going. The faith that people have in this that we believe in, the support that we enjoy, the fact that the millions of people are involved in this, young, old, men, women, rural, urban, educated, uneducated. Everybody sees this as an opportunity for us to get together and overcome it. The struggle has been taken from the intellectuals way down to the masses. It has been owned by the people, the border riders, the farmers, the barbers, the vendors in the market. That alone gives me hope that this is going to go well and we're going to win. So that alone is one fuel that keeps me moving.
Thank you. I was supposed to be moderating a conversation with activists from Tanzania to cancel the discussion. And so I wanted to ask kind of what your assessment is of the landscape across the Great Lakes region, East Africa, and even across Africa or the world, whatever level resonates for you. I mean, Uganda is in some ways not exceptional. Your story, your individuality, the movement is exceptional, and yet we see this sort of democracy needing to move into movement rather than be able to contest elections, authoritarians, you know, validating election results that seek to give themselves legitimacy. People talk about backsliding, they talk about rising authoritarianism, but you're sort of at the front of the mind. Like, what do you see in the region, and what do you think is going to happen next with the young people?
Thank you. Uganda is not a special case. This is a challenge that is in not only the Great Lakes region, but all over Africa, and it's very sad. As a matter of fact, when I escaped out of my country, many people that present themselves with a badge of Pan-Africanism criticized me so much for running to the white man's land, for running to the colonialists. I mean, that's not where our solution is. They would probably escape me to run to Kenya or Tanzania or any African country, and I would love to, But as we speak right now, the dictatorship in Uganda has and continues to export itself to many other parts of Africa. And that is the danger of dictatorship, like Martin Luther King when he said injustice everywhere, anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. In the current times, a dictatorship anywhere is a threat to democracy everywhere, because it emboldens other dictators that it's actually possible you can do it and get away with it. I mean, back in the day, Africa was safe. The freedom fighters in Uganda, those who fought against Idi Amin, they didn't have to run to America, they just ran to Tanzania. As a matter of fact, Tanzania helped us get rid of Idi Amin. I wish we could be moving forward and not backwards. Museveni himself and our fathers that were fighting against the Obote government, they would run to Kenya because Kenya was safe. Just over a year and a half ago, Dr. Kizza Besigye, a veteran, iconic freedom fighter in Uganda, was abducted from Kenya by Ugandan security. With assistance with the Kenyan security, he was driven in a car trunk, in a car book, across the border illegally and charged in a pseudo-military court, in a kangaroo court in Uganda. Activists from Tanzania are being tortured. Those that come from Uganda and went to Kenya, there was, our brothers and sisters that went to Kenya, that went to Tanzania. Many of them got tortured for days, sexually assaulted, and men, they were sodomized. It is sad that now East Africa in particular is being reduced. The East African community is being reduced to a president's club to keep each other safe in power. It's not like the way it used to be. The longer people stay in power, is the more they get spoiled. I think when we were having a conversation earlier on, I told you that I was named after Robert Mugabe. He was a prized revolutionary. He was a great guy that people admired. Unfortunately, by the time he died, he had degenerated to a despised dictator. And over the time, it was no longer pride to share a name with him. That's why I even changed my name to Bob, because Bob was better than Robert, although it meant the same. So my point here is that the region from home and running much further from even the continent, because it's not safe at all, because democracy is dying, because dictators are looking out for each other and trying to squeeze life out of all those that try to empower people and try to keep the democratic candle burning. Yeah.
All right, the floor is open. I'll ask that you please keep your questions rather than speeches, and please keep them brief, and introduce yourself. Is it okay if we take two at a time? Because I see we have a large audience. Okay. So we'll start here.